in the heart of the River Kingdoms lies an old Pathfinder lodge, once thought lost. A lodge shrouded in secrecy and mystery, driving many to believe that its goals are not that of exploration, but of more nefarious purposes. Recently, an unknown venture captain has reopened the lodge and recruited a new group of Pathfinder agents to do its bidding. Whether their goals are to benefit the society or something much more sinister is yet to be seen. Welcome to Tales from the Black Lodge.
Hey everyone, welcome to Roll for Combat Tales from the Black Lodge. I'm your GM and host, Stephen Glicker, and in this week's episode, we start a brand new tale with our special guest star, Erik Mona, publisher of Paizo himself. And let me tell you, I have played a lot of Pathfinder, I have played a lot of adventures, and this might be one of my absolute favorites of all time. That's saying something. Been playing for 40 plus something years, and this one is definitely up in the top 5. That is how awesome Erik is at playing. So for those of you who are regular listeners, you know that this is a quest. This is Port Peril Pub Crawl. Very hard to say. That is only supposed to take 1 hour. And when I first said, hey Erik, you want to play a game with us? It'll only take about an hour or so. He's like, sure. And how long did it take? It took 4 hours. It took 4 hours to play. Now, after I cut it and sort of take out silences and the ums and ahs, it's probably going to come out closer to 3 hours. So I'm expecting this to be 3 episodes in total. One of the reasons is that Erik Mona just goes on, and his character and his delivery is so damn funny that we are just all sitting there listening to him. I was editing this and I was surprised there are parts later in the episode where we're just listening to him talk because he is so damn funny with this character. I love this character. He's got a really cool backstory. He doesn't even tell you what it is. He does it only through playing. You find out more about him. And if you want to hear and see Erik Mona more, you can just go to our YouTube channel because we did another special adventure with Erik Mona with this same character for PaizoCon. That was actually quest number 3. And that one also was a lot of fun. At that point, we actually knew more about Erik Mona's character, so we're able to lean into it and sort of work off his character a bit more. But if you want to go in the right order, listen to this one first, and then go to quest number 3, which is the Paizo special, which you can hear. There's a lot of ways to listen to it. I think it's on the Twitch channel. I think it's on my Twitch channel. If you go to the Roll for Combat Twitch channel, I know it's on the Roll for Combat YouTube channel, and we actually have video for that one, so you could check that out. But I will listen to this one first, because this is the first time the guys are level 2. Erik Mona is playing a level 1 character who is ridiculously frail and weak, to the point that I wouldn't even say a swift hit, one hit and he goes down. So that's fun. And his background is just so bizarre. I mean, this is one of those things that we were talking about back in the day, like when we were playing Dungeons and Dragons. We never thought in a million years that we would ever play with anyone who was directly involved with D&D, or now in this case Pathfinder. And over the years when I went to Gen Con, I actually did get to play with some of the top people at Wizards of the Coast, and I've played with, well, pretty much everyone at Wizards of the Coast I played with Chris Perkins a lot of times. I played with, well, just about everyone you can imagine who was there. And I've also now, the last few years, gotten a chance to play with a lot of people at Paizo. But Erik Mona is special. Him and Jason Bowman, because they're hard to pin down. They're very, very busy. So even getting one game with these guys is a monumental task. And it's fascinating to see how the people who write the game, how they play the game. One thing that I used to talk about, which is kind of funny, is that when John Statz was at Blizzard Entertainment, and I used to go there and visit him a lot, and we used to play Warcraft 3 and World of Warcraft and other things with the developers, And I'll never forget that we used to get destroyed because their AI was so good that even though I was playing with the developers themselves, they weren't that good at the game. They actually, when we would play Warcraft 3 and we would play the PvP, this is how it would go. We'd have 3 developers and me against 4 AI opponents, and we got destroyed. And so then we made it 4 against 3 AI opponents, and we got destroyed again. And so we made it 4 against 2. And only then could we actually beat the damn game because the AI was too darn good. The guys who actually write the game weren't really that good at the game. And I used to think about that all the time, is that whenever I go play it with Blizzard, these guys, although they're really good at writing these games and making these games, they weren't that good at playing those games. Obviously, this was a very long time ago, and I don't know if that's still the case. But when it comes to role-playing games, I usually find it's the opposite, is that the people who play the games and write the games are some of the best at playing them. They're the best at knowing the rules, obviously. They're the best at actually doing accents, at going into really strange, funky characters, to doing things out of the box. I have almost never been disappointed when I'm playing with people in the industry. They're very free with their emotions and very free with their role playing, which is quite relaxing when you're playing with them, because then you too can just be all out goofy. And when you hear how much Erik gets into his character, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But this was a real treat. I mean, Erik is a friend, of course, and I talked to him quite a bit in general, but then also even playing with him was just another added bonus. So hopefully everyone enjoys this episode, and as I said, we'll probably finish this up in 2 more episodes. So it will be this week and the next 2 episodes, and then this one will be done, and then we'll get to the next adventure, which, well, will probably be the next Erik Mona adventure, the one from PaizoCon. So you get 2 Erik Mona adventures, one right after another. Some real quick show notes. Don't forget, check out our Patreon. If you do $5, you can listen to all the episodes early. If you do 10, you can actually watch us every week. You can see us way ahead of the curve. We're way further ahead when it comes to Black Lodge, which we play every Monday, more or less. And obviously, the Circus Adventure, we're way ahead of the podcast on that, by the way, like way, way ahead. And that's almost every Sunday night. So you can watch us and listen to us and talk to us live every week, $10 a month. That's all you need to do. And if you want to play games or get a free t-shirt, just go to our Discord channel. Just go to discord.rollforcombat.com. You get to level 10, you get a free t-shirt. I'm about to add a whole bunch of new t-shirts. I need to add t-shirts for all the Pathfinder games and all the Black Lodge characters. I just got yelled at yesterday by all the players that why their t-shirts aren't up on the site, and they're right. I need to do that. So I'm going to do that very soon, and you'll be able to order those as well. But with that, let's get to this week's episode. Hey everyone, welcome to Rule for Combat, Tales from the Black Lodge. And today we have a very special episode. Instead of doing a full society game, we're going to do a quest. A quest which only takes 1 episode, from beginning to end. And in this quest, we're going to find out what our characters are made of, how stout they are, how much they can handle their booze, because we are going on a Port Peril pub crawl. But before we do that, we have to introduce who we have here tonight. First up, Mr. Peepers, John Stats.
Hey guys, my name is John Stats, and I'm playing Mr. Peepers, a level 2 now halfling thief. Mr. Peepers has earned the reputation of finding trouble where there shouldn't be any. As someone with no sense of self-preservation, he's been the sole survivor to several expeditions and leaves a legacy of unfinished business and forgotten quests. He is happiest when starting over with a clean slate.
And Mr. Peepers also is collecting a set of tattoos of all the Rune Lords up and down his body. He started with the most beautiful one, Belmarius, of course. Next up is Nella, Jason McDonald.
Yeah, hi, this is Jason McDonald. I play Nella Amberleaf, a half-elf druid of the Wild Shape school. However, the Wild Shape is still a work in progress, so I mostly throw fire at things and hit it with a stick. And since Steve said this adventure was a pub crawl, I went and got myself the first beer of the evening.
Wow.
Nice.
Touche. It's like real sound effects and everything. Next up, we have Thorgrim the Lion.
Thorgrim
aka
the Lion, or Thorgrim Stout Brew,
That's
Dwarven
right.
champion Iomedae. Thorgrim is a devout worshiper of Iomedae. Is now level 2, and sees his role as the protector of the group. Has saved all of their lives many times, and now is sporting some brand new full plate and wielding his trusty trident as he likes to do. Looking forward to some downtime at a pub crawl. That's it.
Next up, we have the sneaky goblin. Will the goblin actually get into melee? Will the goblin actually take damage? We're going to find out this week. Seth Lipton with Nick Snox.
Hi, it is Seth Lipton. I'm Festus Felli on the social media. I'm playing Nix Nox, who is not actually a goblin. It's in fact a wizard's creation made from elemental fire to have the appearance and all manner of being a goblin. He sneaks in the shadows, and he is true neutral, which means he is lawful good to his allies, chaotic evil to his enemies. And he's now level 2. His abilities have enhanced. He can now detect magic at will, as well as read the auras, and the lightning from his eyes can now be extended at distance through his hands.
And last but not least, special guest star, Erik Mona. He actually, he gave me his character. I looked at the number, and the number is 2. 2! I'm like 18,000. He's 2. It's so crazy
Number
to
2.
see that. You are a 2, but you're not a 1, but you're close enough.
No, I let the guy who co-founded the campaign have number 1 as a management ploy. He doesn't work for Paizo anymore, so.
Oh. Well, anyhow, we have. Is this your first Pathfinder Society 2 character?
This is my first official 2nd edition Pathfinder Society session. Yes.
Wow. I'm honored and
I've been
terrified.
a busy boy.
Terrified.
Yeah, me too. That makes 2 of us, Steven.
So what are you playing today? Everyone else is level 2. You're level 1. So
Level 1, yes.
You're gonna have to
I'm playing
hide
a
behind these
rookie.
people.
I'm prepared. I'm playing a rookie adventurer named Vortaris, and I think we'll find out more about him as play commences.
Nice.
Ooh,
Sounds
he's
like
one
a
of
tank.
those.
All right, that's good.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
wearing absolutely nothing that looks tankish whatsoever. I'm just warning you. So, before we get into the adventure, one thing that happened as of last time is that everyone leveled up to level 2. And I wanted to know if anyone wanted to quickly just explain to the listening crowd anything different that you wanted to share with everyone. I don't know if you want to go in the same order, John.
Yeah,
If you
I'll
wanted
start
to
out.
say, if you, Mr. Peepers, you can explain or feel free to share whatever you want.
Yeah, okay, so Mr. Peepers has a plus 10 to initiative with by using deception. He has become a expert in deception, so he has another plus 4, plus he's level 2, so that's a cool little thing that I always love. I like to go first in initiative. And I happen to tack on a couple things. Nimble dodge. Now, Steve may correct me. This almost looks too good to be true. Nimble dodge is a reaction that seems to be a reaction to anytime I'm attacked by something that I can see. I'll be plus 2 to my armor class. So, Steve, unless you can correct me, or you usually set me straight on these things. Is that right? Am I going to get a plus 2 to pretty much everything as a reaction that
It's
I
not
can
as
see?
No, it's not as
Okay.
good as you think it is. This is how it
Okay,
works.
all right, here it goes.
Because,
Okay,
Yeah, well, because
You know,
Here comes the nerf. Here's the
Yeah,
nerf.
here
it's
comes
not the nerf.
yeah.
Well, Rob Tremarco had it, so I know it very well. Is
Okay.
that nimble dodge is when a target attacks you and you see him. Before the attack is rolled, you must tell me that you nimble dodge. And you only get to use it against one attack for the entire round.
Okay, that sounds fair.
And if you do it, you get a plus 2 to your AC. So if he attacks you once, you say, I'm nimble dodging now. So you get plus 2 to that attack. But then the next 2 attacks,
Yeah.
You don't get it.
Okay.
And it uses up your reaction.
I
Now,
like
a lot
that,
of people, this is actually very.
That's a cool little mini game, actually.
It's a mini game, but most people get this wrong. Almost 99% of the people think you do it after you're attacked. The letter of the law is before you're attacked, you have to declare it. And that is, quote, the nerf that people feel is unfair, but that's the rules.
No,
right,
I mean,
Erik Mona?
That actually makes perfect sense because it's a decision that I'm making that may or may pan out. I mean, it's too deterministic if you choose after the fact. I mean,
In fact, we did it after the fact, halfway through Plaguestone, until we learned that. Because it was like, I roll, if he had a 20 AC and I roll 21, he's like, I use Nimble Dodge and I get out of the way. So, and then he would just wait. He just kept holding it until it happened. So now it's not as good. Whatever.
There's no risk then. So I like that. I still love the ability. I like that. Okay, so then I'm an underwater marauder, which is I'm not flat-footed in the water. And there's no penalties for using bludgeoning or slashing weapons, which I use short swords. So that's Mr. Peepers' upgrade to level 2.
Cool. What about Nella? Can Nella transform into like a gigantic dragon now?
Boy, you're just going to rub some salt in those wounds.
Form of an icicle.
Wild Shape still pretty much does the same thing. Since it's level of the spell, not level of the character, I don't get anything interesting with Wild Shape until 3rd level. At that point, it becomes the 2nd level spell, and I can turn into cooler stuff. This level, I get, let's see, the major highlights are I add Featherfall to my spell repertoire. So after Mr. Peepers' adventure with the pit last time, I figured that might be a good thing to have. I took the Poison Resistance feat, which gives me a plus on saves against poison. And
that will never come up.
Well, you know,
always.
I think I was horrified by what was going on in the 3-ring adventure, and so I decided to take the.
You have no idea.
Better say
Isn't this a pub crawl adventure? I think
that's
that might
true.
be very
Does that help with
true.
alcohol?
Yeah, you might find.
And then for the general feat, I took Battle Medicine. Since I'm already sort of skewing as one of the healers in the party, I figured I'd take Battle Medicine so I could do it in combat.
Okay, you do need to buy a healing kit, by the way. I meant to tell you.
No, I bought that as well. I bought that last. I actually bought that last
that's right,
adventure,
you did.
so I already have it.
That's right. And we found out last adventure that Mr. Peepers also has battle medicine, although it took him 3 adventures to figure it out. But
what are you talking about?
No, we knew that.
That's so not true.
I
spent hero points. No. I spent hero points to re-roll. No, I've always had I've spent hero points to use battle medicine. I believe, unless that's a false memory planted in. I don't know.
No, it's true. I actually got rid of battle medicine because you were so much better at it than I was.
Oh, that's right. Thorgrim, anything new than you are just big and tanky?
Big and tanky. Also, as a feat, took the Hefty Hauler. So that increases my bulk because now I'm wearing full plate and it's really bulky, but really good. Also, as my other thing, I guess it's a feat you would call it, I took a multi-class into Cleric. So now I'm getting more in touch with my religious side and becoming more cleric-y, so I got a couple of new cantrips. Kind of useful ones. Well, one's Shield, which is, looking at it, it's decent, but you can only really use it once every 10 minutes. And the other one is Message, which is good for communicating in the heat of battle. So a couple of useful cantrips, and that's more or less it. I also took part of getting multi-class was getting 2 new skills trained, and one of them now is medicine also because it seems extremely useful. And I did buy a kit as well, so if anyone wants to borrow that, let me know.
Yeah, it seems like everyone is becoming skilled with medicine.
It's a good skill. And
every one of my games.
It's actually something that I really like about the new system, that it's not all just magical healing takes care of everything. Like, there is actual conventional healing that matters, and you get status effects, and it's all very visceral. It's like it's all very story driven. Like, you have an actual wound that you have to worry about. It's great. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it is cool. And he also took acrobatics just because he's so lumbering that he wanted to be a little more offset that a little bit.
You're wearing full plate acrobatics.
Full plate and shield.
This
Yeah.
should be fun.
I'm thinking about getting a tower shield actually next. So
Oh
I can afford
God.
it.
You know,
Wow.
and for those of you at home, his AC is actually 18, but Chris is so paranoid he already made his AC 20 because he.
Yeah, I changed it to. I corrected it to 20, and it will go to 22.
Well, that's with the
which
shield. That's with the
No,
shield.
no, with the shield is 22.
Oh, really?
Mine's 11.
Oh.
Yes,
Wow.
My AC is 11.
Wow.
Wow.
AC 11 is.
Does your character have a big red bullseye on it or something like that?
Not yet.
hit Eric Mono with steak.
Yeah, with the big heart, bullseye thing on.
Hey, I'm first level, you guys. Be gentle.
That's true.
Oh,
Does
can't
Nick
even
Knox? I think
remember
Nick
first
Knox
level.
shared. Nick Knox shared what he did. He just
Yeah,
had
pretty much. It's a
superpowers.
It's like
Magic.
like meta magic reach spell, so I can spend an action to extend things 30 feet. So if it's a touch spell, now it's a 30-foot spell. If it's a 30-foot spell, now it's a 60-foot spell. There is one thing that I'm not sure about though, because it doesn't work with 3-action spells. But I also have heal, which could be a 1, 2, or 3-action spell. So does that mean that when I'm using it as a 2-action application, I can get the extra 30 feet, but I cannot use the obviously because I don't have 4 actions. I can't use it with the 3, or does it mean it's not good at all for the spell period?
Well, if you use reach, you basically use an action and then you can do whatever you want. You have 2 actions left, so it's whatever you want with two actions. So it would make that spell go further for the 1 or 2 action heal, but that's it.
Okay, good.
You can't use the 3 action heal and reach at the same time.
So all of that is
That's all.
going in my character theme of phoning in the healing and the damage as much as possible, while staying as far away from everything as possible.
Oh,
I like it.
Paris joined a mighty fine group here. I tell you that.
Just hang out with me. Hang out with me in the back. We'll be fine.
That's true. That's true. Nick Knox.
I got through 2 adventures, not taking a point of damage. Just chill.
Nice.
Yeah, he's hanging out on the back, doing parlor tricks, hiding. He's always trying to stay out of the action. But this week, we shall see.
Yeah, Mama Millicent isn't with us anymore, so
That's right. That's right.
30
no more super
points
tags.
turns,
Yeah.
not gonna
that's
have
long,
it
that's
anymore.
long gone.
We're just stuck with Thorgrim now.
Tana of Doom.
Thorgrim.
Can we at least chip in and buy Thorgrim a katana? Just
Oh,
That'd be awesome.
That katana. I like his trident. The trident is great.
I like a trident.
and the kobold liked his trident too.
I
did.
especially like when he throws his trident away and the enemy picks it up and then uses it back on him. That was really fun.
That was.
especially for me. Anyhow, so with that, you are on another ship. You're always on a ship. I don't know why. There's a lot of water in Pathfinder Society. And this is right after your last adventure where you were coming from Absalom. And you are on the ship, the Glorious Payoff. So with a splash of salt that crashes over the bow of the Glorious Payoff, you see the captain, Calistro Benari, deftly steering her ship through a hidden channel, carefully navigating through the barely visible rock and coral that protrudes slightly from the water's surface. Behind the payoff, you see a slightly smaller ship, the Sea Sparkle, making every effort to follow Benari's course as closely as possible. And off to the porthole, the deep green of the Gunari coast is illuminated by the late afternoon sun. She looks at you all and says, you see them gulls? She shouts over the flapping of the sails. That's the sandbar we'll be dropping you off at. Barely sticks up over the waves, but the seabirds flock to it to feast on crab. And as I explained earlier, you might have known that as Sir Gava needs explorers to chart the trade routes to the south that they couldn't use back when it was ruled by Cheliax. It's a simple bit of adventuring, but the new nation's been having a real hard time with the free captains of late. Turns out when Vendarin broke free of Cheliax, the locals stopped paying the pirates protection money. Now they're the #1 plunder target of the shackles. What's more, the pirates have set up a blockade preventing our ships from making it down to assist. But thankfully, we've got someone on the inside Stella Thane, a free captain with ties to the Firebrands and the Pirate Council. She's been in contact with the Society, and they have put together a fairly clever plan to help out the Society ships pass through the pirates' blockades. Wind and the waves willing, the payoff and the sparkle can sail through the blockade no problem. While we're doing that, I've arranged transport for you to Port Peril to meet with Thane and get her to sign this contract before making the whole thing official. She may be a pirate, but she's the kind that holds to her word. You'll need to avoid drawing too much attention until after the deed's done. Once she's signed the contract with her friends in the Pirate Council, we'll ratify it, and there won't be much the lesser captains can do. But be careful, though. Anyone looking to put a stop to this need only to ensure that the contract never gets signed. So a quick recap is that you have been on the ship, and you've been tasked to do a very small errand on your way back to the Black Lodge, which is to quickly meet with this sea captain, have her sign this document and bring it back. And with that, they should be able to get past the blockade, and the Pathfinders will be able to continue going through the pirate lands. So it's a very simple bit of adventuring. You just go in, meet with her, get her to sign it, go out. That's it. Simple as can be.
So much red tape.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Nothing could go wrong.
She looks at you and says, you have any questions for me before I drop you off at the sand barge over there?
What is this sand barge? What is that?
Yeah, what is
Is
that?
that a bar?
Is that a real sand barge or?
Yeah, look over there. So you look over and you see nothing but ocean. It's ocean for miles in every direction. And way off in the distance, you can see just a little teeny tiny of land. And the only thing that you see is there's like seagulls. They look like they're standing on the ocean. And she's like, right there. You can't actually see it. It's probably like a couple inches below the water. But don't worry, it's there. It's there. We can't get there. So just jump off the side, swim a couple 100 feet to the sand barge, and then wait for your pickup. Okay?
All right,
Thorgrim-
Mr.
Thorgrim-
Peepers
Thorgrim's
jumps in the
looking-
water and he starts swimming.
I made a fire. I don't swim. I need a dinghy. I need a boat.
Yeah, Thorgrim's looking at that water and
Move me
wondering,
in the water.
wondering how this
I do not
playdale
need a
will handle him jumping in the water and sinking to the bottom.
Well,
Like, I don't know about this.
not my problem. She's looking around. She's like, well, and she finds an oar. She's like, I got a spare oar here. She hands the Nix Knox. Like, you can use this as like, a little raft, and you can kick on over. But sorry, that's all I got.
So we've done this before. We have prior experience. Can I look at the garbage that they have on the useless elements that they might have lying around the deck, and make a barrel into a boat thing that we did last episode?
That took 8 hours, and you're expected tonight, and it's already sunset.
Well, I don't want to make it very seaworthy. I want to make like essentially a raft, like an emergency flotation device.
Well,
I asked our newcomer Vortaris, you seem like you have magical aptitude. Maybe you could weave a mist that would allow us to cross this water without having to swim.
And when his name is invoked, you see a hooded figure. He's sort of stooped over. He's holding what's clearly like an old shepherd's crook, and it looks like it's a used shepherd's crook. Like it's got all kinds of notches in it and stuff. Looks like he picked it up maybe secondhand, and he's quite old. And he pulls back his hood. And he reveals like a completely bald head, and there's like some scars on his face, and like part of his left ear is missing. And he holds up a wizened, sort of curled up old arthritic hand that's missing two of the fingers on the left hand, and puts it up to his ear and says, "Speak more slowly, please." And you see he looks like he's about 85 years old. He's like a human. He looks like almost like a bandageless mummy. He's so old and skinny. And he says, I cast a mist spell. No, I'm afraid I cannot do that. No.
Yeah, Thurgrim's like, I'm not so sure about this guy. But says he does speak in a louder, more deliberate voice, saying, well, they want us to jump in the water and swim. Are you going to be able to handle that?
I have spent 6 decades assiduously avoiding the water. I am not certain I can swim. It has been many years since my last attempt. I suppose I can try. This is the life of adventure. After all, I have been preparing for this for some time. Yes. And he kind of walks up to the edge of the boat and puts his claw-like talons on the edge of the rail and sort of looks out to the sand dune. And he squints and he looks further and then he turns back and he says, quite some distance. And you can see a little bit of uncertainty on his wizened old wrinkled face.
Yes, that is my concern. But I've got an idea. I've got a plan. Nix-Nox, you have an oar, yes?
Nix-Nox, this new member of our party reminds Nix-Nox, before he even got to the punchline on this, he reminds Nix-Nox very strongly of the wizard that created him and that kept him as a pet for a number of years. And so he immediately had an affinity toward him. And now that he's actually gonna thinking that he's gonna actually be able to jump in the water and do it, this is encouraged Nix-Nox unexpectedly to literally take the plunge and try. So he's gonna.
So you just scoot up over the deck.
So he's incredibly trepidatious of this entire adventure, more so than any of them, and more so than the devil he fought. But he holds on to the oar. He holds on to the oar as like a security blanket, and approaches to the side of the old brave man who will face the devil seas.
Yes, I think that if I can hold on to this oar, if you guys want to hold on, I can maybe drag you. I could try.
Well,
Nix-Nox immediately looks to the old man for what he's going to say about that.
Are you over the edge, Nix-Nox, or are you still?
No. He's like by your side. He's like.
I see. He said, "Yes, well, we must be very careful indeed. I'm not certain I am able to swim such a vast distance, but holding on to an oar and a companion should be the assistance that I require." Yes.
And Nix-Nox, I think.
When Nix-Nox hears that, he furtively nods his assent and holds up the oar so the old man can take it, and so the other end is where Thorgrim can take it.
All right. Vortaris grabs the oar in one hand. He's got his shepherd's crook with the other.
All right, and Thorgrim will completely stow all of his gear, so it's all like not going to fall out into the water. And I guess go into the water. Let's do it.
Wow.
And Nella
Nix-Nox says, wait. He stops 1 second. Wait. And Nix-Nox weaves a spell, casts a spell. He casts Prestidigitation and is attempting to use that magic to, even though we're going to be in the water, to keep himself and his companion his clothing dry.
Nice.
Very interesting. Vortaris will walk up to the edge and put his staff on a little holder on his back, and then he'll hold up the oar and just sort of shrug, and just drop it down toward you guys. Down goes the oar.
Into the water?
Splash. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. I say, Nella, you can transform into a sea creature, yes?
I actually don't think I am able to do sea creatures. I don't think there are any in my current repertoire.
How about a bug?
Yeah, you could do fish.
Or fish?
Yeah, you did fish before.
Well, I mean, I was looking at the rules and I didn't see fish or swim speeds listed. Steve?
Well, let's see. You can turn into a tiny animal, such as a cat.
Okay,
insect,
if
lizard, or rat.
you're allowing me to turn into a tiny fish, I'm going to turn into a fish. And just
You can turn. I believe you can turn. I was thinking the same thing. You could turn into a fish and just, or better yet, maybe you could turn into a larger fish and they can ride you to the sandbar.
You should be a duck. You don't even need to go in the water.
Yeah, that's even better. Be a duck.
Actually,
Yes.
just to back up, Steve, you said 100 feet away, or was it 100 yards?
Couple hundred feet.
Couple hundred. Okay, so that's basically an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So we're not
That's
even
not
talking
terrible.
a big. Yeah, it's not even a big river. So
All right, it's
right.
time for Mallard Jutsu. So
Speak for yourselves. It seems challenging enough.
Nella turns into a duck and starts swimming.
And Thorgrim jumps in the water.
Vortaris takes his hands and looks as if he's about to make a somatic component, but instead clutches his hands inside and cracks his fingers. Reaches on to the side rail, slowly lifts one of his legs, kind of fails the first time, and then with a second grasp of air, pulls his leg up over the edge of the rail, and then just kind of lowers himself down on the other side, full body extension. Slowly, and you see his arms are shaking.
Steady
and then
now,
he-
steady.
And then he lets go and just falls down like a rocket into the water. Feet first, right next to the boat. Splash.
Nice.
Nix knocks with a heavy sigh, gets onto the railing of the boat backwards, so his back is facing their direction and facing the water. Covers his face, pulls himself into as small as ball as possible, as though he was an ember trying to survive a plunge into the water, and falls backwards into the sea.
The oar, man! Give me the oar! I do not. I'm sinking like a rock.
I give
Give me
Vortaris the oar. Here, take this oar. I push the oar towards him to hold on to this.
I've got it.
I'll pull you along. I'll pull you along. All right, and I'll go in front.
Nix knocks desperately reaches out for a bit of the old man's
piece of
clothing
war.
to hang on to as a chain,
No!
a human chain.
Do not disrobe me, please. Oh.
I'll attempt to swim and pull them.
Here's
them.
the good news. The water's very calm, and although it's a little deep here, you can see why the ship couldn't get there, because very quickly, within just a couple of feet, you can see that it gets very shallow very quickly, and you can almost walk on it if you wanted to. The whole area is walkable. It's only like maybe 4 or 5 feet deep very quickly. So this is why the ship had to make you jump off.
This is an adventuring victory, my companions. The water is not deep at all, for I can stand.
Well, I'm pretty short, so I can't.
Oh, well,
Being a
just hold your
dwarf.
nose up above the water. That's the trick we used to use.
All right, so let's move in that direction.
Nixax will move from the robes to the oar, and hopefully somebody's still pulling the oar.
I'm pulling the oar. Yeah, I'm pretty strong, actually. I mean, I got good athletics. I'm good.
I'm looking for small pieces of bread right now.
Mr. Peepers right now is so stoked that he took Underwater Marauder. Like that.
Oh my God,
I'm
yes.
just like so freaking stoked. I'm like, I gotta kill something here because something's going to happen.
You're like hunching over just to stay more underwater
Yeah.
as the thing gets more and more shallow.
Yeah, I'm a halfling. Like, you can't really tell how deep the water is because, I'm just like kind of poking my head out.
Do we have a double spook where we see some shadow underneath the water and we think it's a monster coming to attack us, and then you arise?
Yeah.
A monster would be quite enjoyable.
Eventually, you go to the area containing the seagulls, and sure enough, it is a sandbar, although it is maybe an inch or two below the water. It's so low that you're not actually even above the water, but it's large enough that you can all stand on it, and you should be able to see the new screen in a second. I'm not sure why it's not showing the new screen. Do you see the?
We see a white
I see it.
thing.
Yeah, the ship doesn't actually show up. It's a big gray spot.
It's a sea cucumber.
Well, that little area, that's the sandbar that you see.
Oh, I thought it was the ship.
No, that's it. That's
So
all you got.
I'm now on the sandbar.
You're all on the sandbar. It's yeah. You see the ship that dropped you off sail off into the distance, and you look around and you realize, wow, we just jumped in the middle of the ocean, in the middle of nowhere. It's getting dark out, and we have seagulls as companions and each other. And you hope someone is going to pick you up. There you go.
They will or they won't. I'm searching for secret doors right now.
Wow.
I'm trying to climb out of the water onto Thorgrim.
You don't want to be anywhere on the water. There's water everywhere. That's the problem.
What a strange port of call.
Yes. This is
So Mr. Peepers,
unsettling.
Mr. Peepers is looking around
You're looking
because
for buried treasure.
he's looking for buried treasure. And guess what? Mr. Peepers finds buried treasure.
Does he really?
Oh my god!
Barely
Wow!
in the sandbar, you notice a corner of a wooden crate.
Wow. Huh. Mr. Peepers comes through again.
Oh my gosh! Wow! I alert the stronger members of the group. Hey, crate here! Crate! Need help! I'm a little short
All
here.
right.
It's
I'll
not
take
my
a look.
forte.
I'll take a look.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a crate, and you can just see like the corner sticking out. It's going to definitely take some effort to both get it unburied, plus, well, probably opening it. So
I use my crowbar and
who is
tools
the
I have to.
strongest of you
Me.
all?
Is
I think it's-
certainly not me.
Thorgrim the stout brew.
Okay, yeah, you dig it up, and yeah, it looks like it's a crate. It's really well designed, airtight. You could definitely open it with a crowbar if you want to force it open. You just give me an athletics check.
Can you pick it though? Could you use? I say.
There's nothing to pick. It's just
Oh.
a crate. There's no actual lock on it. It's just
Okay, so it's unlocked, or
it's a crate.
I'd rather not break it. I know it's a crate. Okay, so I
It's a
crowbar
crate.
it
There's
open.
no open. Yeah,
fine.
you gotta.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how you open
that's
it.
fine.
You open it by.
It's like nailed shut or something, right?
Yeah, totally nailed shut. Athletics check to see if you don't destroy what's inside.
It is like buried pirate treasure. I have read many volumes about buried pirate treasure, and finally here we are on the precipice of a treasure of our own.
Of course, I roll a fucking 1.
Thorgrim
Lord.
rolls a natural 1.
Plus
Of
8, though.
It doesn't matter. You rolled a 1. That's a critical failure.
Oh, Mr. Peepers is hoping it's going to be crackers.
Oops. It's going to be class or something.
Oh, God. Okay, well,
So what's the result of his meddling?
I mean, can a 9 possibly a critical failure? Probably, maybe.
no, it doesn't matter. If you roll a natural 1, it's
It's
a
a
critical
natural
failure.
one.
Even on
The
skill
last-
checks, really?
A 9 would have had to be a success, at which point the natural one would have downgraded it to a failure.
Yes. Yeah. Everything can be a success or critical success or such.
You can't blame me. The
Everything.
water is loosen my grip. It's slippery.
Well, you do it, and you hear something break inside as he slips, and the crate goes flying down the sandbar, and you hear some glass, and you think you see the liquid coming out of it. But give it another try.
Let's give it
See
another
what
try.
happens.
Mr.
The old
Put
college
your-
try.
Put your back into it this time.
Oh, Thorgrim, you're so wrong. We can blame you. We actually can. We really, really can.
Perhaps you should pray to Iomade to help.
I did. I said a silent prayer this time.
You
Let's hope it
did.
works.
27. You're rolling 19.
Critical
Well,
success.
Could your
Yeah.
prayer be heard over the broken glass?
It actually wasn't a critical success. 27 is not critical success. That's how hard it was to open. You actually
Wow. Well,
needed a 20 to open it, so you did not get it. But you do open it up, and inside the broken glass and obviously sticky liqueur, you find one bottle left that was not destroyed by Thorgrim's stubby fingers. and slippery grip.
Crowbar. What is how many bottles?
Bottle
are
of what? Is there a label on it? Is there any type of marking on it?
Give it here, 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 give it, 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 give it.
Okay, so
It
you could have
appears
it
to
next.
be a bottle of rum stamped with a stylized dragon turtle.
It is truly pirate treasure.
All right, so Nick Knox evaluates it, and it is not a potion. It's in fact super nice rum. Correct?
It's rum.
It is rum, but do you have alcohol lore?
Detect magic.
I hand it
It is
back.
not
It's not a
magical.
potion.
It is not a magical.
May I?
Yes, Vatars.
I will
Damn.
grab it and kind of hold it up into the sun so that the sunlight shines through the glass and just kind of try and see if there's, basically gross stuff in the bottle or if it, just trying to evaluate it. I don't really have any particular skills, just taking a closer look. Is there a label, for example?
Yeah, I mean, you don't know what it's called. It just seems to have a stylized dragon turtle. There's no writing on it. So maybe someone who knows more about alcohol would know what this is.
I'm
And-
afraid I do not know about alcohol.
It looks-
I have not drank a drip in 60 years.
The seal is intact, and it looks to be a little sticky. Oh, by the way, when you do detect magic, it turns out that the other items that Thorgrim broke were magic. So I'm just letting you know.
Oops.
Oh,
Oops.
oh.
And they were liquid. They were liquid. It was like
Yes.
how many things
Yep.
does it look like I broke?
Several dirty,
Mm.
cracked bottles. There you go. Good job.
Yes, well,
I think they were
easy
already.
come, easy go.
Exactly. That was a good attitude. I think these were already broken. I think they were.
Oh, man.
Day be praised that we have found but one bottle at least.
Yes. I think that we should sample it.
I do not drink. The last time I drank alcohol, bad things occurred. They cannot be allowed to occur again. This I have sworn to myself.
Mr. Papers is, pop it open. We got time. What are we going to do here? I mean,
Yeah.
if you're at the
Okay,
bus stop, you might as
I'll
well be
take it.
drunk.
Right. I'll take it back from Vortires. I'll open it up and I will smell it. It smell like any seawater creeped in.
Wow. No. You smell it, and it's definitely a high-end liqueur. It smells quite delicious, fragrant.
I take a nice big slug of that.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Pass it
You,
around. Don't bogart it.
Give me a fortitude save.
Oops.
19. You're fine. You take a big swig, and it goes down smooth.
I pass it
Powerful,
around. I pass it to
pungent.
Mr. Peepers.
And as an
Mr.
aftertaste,
Peepers.
not unlike old tar in a way.
It tastes like old tar.
A little bit.
I'm like, not sure.
Mr.
All right.
Peepers
Does
is
it taste
taking
like
a
it's
swig.
wrong?
Oh,
Does it
yeah.
taste-
Mr. Peepers is going to take a
All
swig.
right, give me a fort. Give me a fort save. Ooh, Mr. Peepers with an 8. You take a swig, and you start sputtering and coughing up the drink. You can't handle your liquor. It's way too.
All right.
Like-
That's Mr. Peepers.
You're
It's a potato in your
it
chest,
burns.
Mr.
It
Peepers.
burns the throat. It burns. It burns. I tell you. To Mr. Peepers, it tastes like firewater.
Firewater, yes, please hand it here.
Next time, try this.
Nick Knox uses prestidigitation to manifest a shot glass, pours himself a shot, hands the bottle over to Nella, uses produce flame to make it a flaming shot, and takes a shot.
Nice.
Is Nella still a duck? Does the duck drink? Like that would be funny.
Ducks do drink alcohol if you've
That's
seen
true.
Season
Actually-
2 of The Wire. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I think there's a joke in here somewhere, bringing a duck to a bar, right? Somewhere.
right.
Nella's going to transform from a duck to a wet blanket and
Oh,
observe that this isn't really the time or place to be getting loaded.
I
well,
agree.
Time and
Because we are kind of on the clock here, and we're supposed to be here to work.
The time and place was 60 years ago in Absalom. Bad decisions were made that day, my friends. Do not follow in Voltaire's footsteps.
Can't be any worse than the decision we made to swim out of this sandbar, though.
That's true.
I know.
I know. It's like,
It depends
it's like
on
the
if
first-
another ship comes by. does it
Yes.
First time Nixnox has allowed water to touch his body to this extent in his entire life. That shot is welcome.
You drink it with a 17 fortitude save, and you are fine. No
Damn
problem.
straight.
Damn
Your
straight.
previous adventures, your quests, your lifelong pursuits with this Pathfinder society, they aren't the type to abandon their agents in the midst of a desolate
No.
sandbar, right? They will come for
They
us,
will
will
come.
they not?
Yes. One
This is
must have faith.
This is my first mission.
Put your faith in Aomade.
They just like these jokes.
I see. Yes, well.
I will take another swig.
Really? Okay. Give me another fort save.
It's very strong, Rob.
Oh, 28. You barely feel it go down your throat. Critical success.
This
You
is
take
like milk.
Yeah, it's like milk to you, being a dwarf.
It's like milk.
Mother's milk.
Yes.
what are the effects of Mr. Peepers missing his fort save?
He just hacked it up. You just couldn't handle it. You just nothing bad. You just literally couldn't swallow it.
All right, I'll take
Mr.
another.
Peepers,
I'll take
have
another drink. I'll try
have another
drink.
swig.
I'm taking
Yes.
another drink.
It's whiskey.
20. Mr. Peepers gets the hang of it. He drinks it down.
You know, it's also good after 3 or 4. You know.
If you drink too much, you risk becoming inebriated in a way that may not go over well with our venture captains. Or so I have read.
Ixnox, do you have a mint?
I produce a mint.
I thought that
Really?
should help with that.
Wow.
Prestidigitation is very, very,
Very
good when
cool.
it comes to flavorful stuff that doesn't mean anything. It can do any of that.
Okay, so a lot of the drink has been drunk because it was a very small bottle, and there's only a little bit left. If you want to spend the rest of your time putting it back, you can do that. One thing I want to mention is, because this is Pathfinder Society, using your swords and scrolls, I presume is everyone using their standards of healing potion and potency crystal, except for Erik. Erik Mona is going to be using a
Anti-plague.
anti-plague. Wow.
Yes. Sea voyages alarm me. I've been on a boat for some 60 years.
That's correct, Steve. Healing potion.
Okay.
I think
so
I
the
still
only-
don't get anything.
You don't get
because-
anything. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Not yet.
You are unwanted.
And yes, Nella's going with the same standard kit.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, healing potion. I think I do get 2 items, but we'll look at that later. 2 different lists.
Maybe at level 2, but this is you should be okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I just have 1 healing potion.
Okay. With that out of the way, it's getting dark. The sun is setting.
Can we make a fire
is
with the
beautiful.
Look
remains?
around. You're like,
We
Next
can't
Knox-
really in
next
water,
Knox-
but
Can we get a fire going?
With
Well,
the
we're-
remains?
We're like ankle deep
in the water. Yeah, we're
aren't we?
ankle deep in water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, are there moons on this?
Like if we could get that
What's the
crate.
tide situation? Does it go up and down with the moon? Because, 6 hours at sea is a big difference in everywhere, pretty much.
After a while, you actually do see, about an hour, you do see a boat coming your way, and everyone feels a lot better.
Oh, thank God.
And
See,
right around.
Aomade delivered yet again.
They're gonna
Yeah.
see us too. Oh God!
Aren't they coming here for us?
Ixnox, send up a flare.
Yep. So you see
I'll do that.
a small boat, and it's being sailed by an elderly driver. Looks like an old dwarf. You can't tell if it's male or female. And the dwarf's like, come on in. I came here to pick you up and bring you over to Port Peril. Let's go. Hurry up. Got to get in before sunset.
I'll help before Taras get into the boat. Cause
Yes.
he's
Lift me. Lift me here.
I do. I lift him into the boat.
I try and climb up the boat.
Yeah, you can get in. It's a little high, but it's still a pretty small boat. And
let's bring the crate with the broken stuff, whatever, in the bottle.
Sure. And as you climb in, it's pretty small. She goes on. She's like, I'm Hellar, and she just starts moving around sacks of shellfish and crab traps to make room for you. It's really cramped, and
Think Ioma Day you came along. It was going to be. It's getting dark. I'm going to be on a sandbar.
It's like I get in as best I can and then immediately use prestidigitation to dry myself off.
Oh, Nick Stocks, dry me off too, please.
yeah.
I do-
But
I
one
do
thing
so.
is, there's just water everywhere. It's a boat in the middle of the ocean. It's really small, and everything's wet. Everything's wet.
Damn.
There's no escape from water for Voltaris. 60 years I lived in a flooded building, and now here there's water up to my knees again. Damn it all.
Voltaris has a tale to tell, I think, and it's always 60 years ago. I wonder what happened between 59 to now, but we will find out.
Detect
Hard to
evil.
say. No, I'm not. No, I
shit.
am redeemed.
Tell us your tale. Tell us your tale, old wise one.
It is a long tale that will be played out over an hour or so, but I would say I have decided to turn over a new leaf and start a life of adventure as a questing hero, just as I always wanted to be when I was a boy. And now I finally have my chance. And I have studied. And I am ready to accept my destiny.
Do you have skills?
Of course. I never would have passed my confirmation if I did not have skills. I am a wizard! The mighty wizard Vortalis the Impatient stands before you. I am impatient because I have waited 60 long years to start my career, and now it begins in earnest here, off a sandbar.
Better late than
in
never, they
Port
say.
Peril. Yes, that's my motto exactly. Better late than never.
All right, Captain, let's head to shore. We would like to get dry and warm.
She
Yes.
she says, "Well, get comfortable. It's going to take a few hours to get to Port Peril. We should be there right after sundown." And she starts the boat moving along. She brings up the sails, and you're in the middle of nowhere. Got plenty of time to kill.
Hello! Are you the captain of this vessel?
She looks at you and says, "Yeah, that's right. I'm the captain." Oh, wait, hold on a second. And then she just jumps overboard, leaving you all there.
What?
Wait, what?
Seriously?
Yeah, she's like,
That
just
was
hold on a
unexpected.
second. And she jumps overboard. You see her swimming, and she's like swimming around, going underneath.
What
Nick
are you
Knox,
doing?
Detect magic.
Get back
Detect
on-
magic.
get back
detect
on this
magic.
boat.
It's like some kind of fish.
And then, like a minute later, she comes back up, and she has an oyster in her hand, and she's like, "Sorry, I saw this." And she like definitely climbs up the side, comes back to
So she just pulled a pearl diver. She just did some pearl diver
Yeah.
stuff. She didn't like turn into a mermaid or any kind of thing.
No, she
like
just
that.
jumped off to the side while in the middle of a sentence to go get an oyster. So
I thought she was ditching us in the middle of the ocean.
I was too.
I
I was like, wow.
I turn to Thorgrim and I say,
This woman is the strangest dwarf I have ever met.
Yes,
What'd you say?
most dwarves don't have time for such nonsense. Let me see.
All
if
the
I-
ones I ever knew, briefly, did their best to avoid the water.
Yes.
When did you know dwarves?
Well, I've known many dwarves in my time, shared space with them
Dwarves
for
are.
brief periods of time. They did not last long, I'm afraid. Most of my time has been spent on the water or in it, and dwarves, they do not like the water, except for this one.
Yes, Halar.
Hello, stranger.
We really must be heading to port. We don't have time for the nonsense.
Yes. We're going to port. We're going to port. Why don't you make yourself useful and grab an oar and start rowing there, dwarf? You look mighty strong wearing all that plate mail and stuff. Help out.
This is a big rowboat. There's no sails. All right, that's fine. I will start.
Oh no,
rowing.
there's a sail, but it's like going in and out because the the wind is starting and stopping. So she definitely needs a little help.
And you're being sassed.
I will help.
That
I will
too.
row. If you can beat a drum to some cadence, I'll do it.
And then after a few minutes, she jumps off the side again. And this time it's several minutes, and she comes up and she's got a squid in her hand. And
Does the boat keep moving?
Slides up. Yeah, but she's pretty fast. She seems to do this all the time. Seems like it's a cadence for her.
Rule of threes: she gets eaten by a shark next time.
Could happen. She's like, don't worry, it's that way, and she just like points in general.
How far away are we?
Couple more hours. Don't worry. We're almost there.
She's a PC in a video game RPG. Every time there's a flower, she plucks the flower. Every time there's any kind of component, she goes and gets it.
Yep.
Have any of you
Plays Skyrim.
Have any of you ever been to Port Peril before?
Never.
I don't believe so.
No.
Not that
The
we know.
name is somewhat concerning, don't you think? Peril? It's so perilous, it's named Peril.
Oh yeah, port. It's right on the edge of the water. That makes sense. We should be cautious. It's a port.
Yes, we should be cautious, yes.
Is it actually perilous, or is it just sailors having a bit of
Yes,
humor?
Hello. Tell us about Port Peril. How shall we prepare ourselves for what is to come? Hello! They don't call me Vorteris the Impatient for nothing.
He's like, all right. So you don't know anything about the place you're going. Port Peril. It's the largest port in the Shackles. It's the de facto capital. I mean, as long as you're into piracy and
I've read 7 books about
narcotics, it's huge. I mean, it's something like 50,000 people, something like that. There's always a fight going on, but the pirates have a pretty strong hold on it. I wouldn't worry too much. You should be able to hold your own. I wouldn't go around advertising your Pathfinders, though. That might not go over so well. But, troublemakers are dealt with swiftly.
This alarms me because it sounds like it may be a site of some temptation.
Oh, yeah, this is nothing but temptation.
Oh, no.
Oh, Vortaris, is that a problem for you? Were you 60 years ago, were you tempted into something?
Well, I find that carousing and drinking and the like can lead to long-term ramifications if one is not very prepared and careful.
When you say long-term, do you mean like 60 years?
Perhaps. Maybe even for your whole life, unless for some miraculous reason the Primarch shall change and he decides to... Things can change, but many things stay the same for a good long while, and one of those is living with your mistakes. So I would encourage each of you young people, when we get to this Port Peril, to think about the temptations before you and if it will be worth paying what could be the ultimate price. Young man, take a look at my life.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a stout drink of brew now and again. But other than that, you're right. I will not be tempted by much else there. I'm a devout.
I will mind all of you to make sure that no one falls to astray. For the Pathfinders.
Halar, are we there yet?
A few hours go by. You continuously hear the stories of Vorteris and his his life of woe, it sounds like. A very well-lived life, it sounds like.
Nah, I'm piecing it together.
A scary life, but a life.
One thing that becomes very clear as he's talking, though, is that most of the things he knows, he's read from books. Very well read, but not suspiciously not very experienced.
He's literally book smart.
I feel as though he may have been in one place for a long period of time, a place that might have bars. That's just me.
Bars are an opportunity for temptation.
Or just a Don Quixote vibe.
Yes, I read that book as well. Very long. Very long. But good. Funny in places.
So, as the boat arrives in Port Peril at sunset, you drift into Crescent Harbor, where you see sailors disembarking for shore leave and singing rowdily as they work and get ready to go out into the nightlife. Pilar soon lands at a smaller dock to unload her catch and gestures at Fane's ship at one of the docks. And you see it. Just there it is, the Risen Albatross. And it's a beautiful, gorgeous, huge ship. So you know that Fane is here somewhere. And she says, well, I know you're to meet Fane. She's somewhere here where the kids go nowadays. I have no idea where you'll find Fane. Maybe you want to go ask the harbor master. Might have an idea where he saw Fane head to. But I'll be back here in a few hours when I'm done unloading everything. So just wait for me if I'm not here, and then we'll go back to the sandbar. And you'll be picked up tomorrow morning, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. And so she goes off to go do her business. And you are at the port. You have to find Fane. What do you do?
You've been listening to Roll for Combat, Tales from the Black Lodge. If you have a question or comment for the show, please visit us at rollforcombat.com. You can also find us and play various games on our Discord channel at discord.rollforcombat.com. You've been listening to Roll for Combat. Until next week, always remember to attack the darkness.